Good evening, everyone. So, first of all, as most of us don't carry watches, just turn it off if you can, your cell phones, because this is a time to look to ourselves, not to whatever is outside. Time is an interesting concept. Um, Nowadays, it is a commodity. It values money, and time management is something that all the companies and entrepreneurs and business people do enjoy talking about. Most of them don't master at all, but we always try to manipulate the time somehow. We always try to work on with the time that we think that we need for something, and we end up most of the time wasting the time that we save doing something else. And newsflash, this is being human, because our brain works differently, and we're going to see that along the explanation today. But normally, we are making time to do something that will happen in the future. Or we are taking time to analyze something that happens in the past. But for real, what time is it? The only time that counts is now. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow will come. We don't know what's going to happen. The only time that really counts, it's now. And we don't stay too long in the now. We don't stay too long in our time. And Jesus always said that, like stay, and that's what we're gonna see in a few. Like they say, stay in the light. What do you have the light with you? Walk in the light. What you have the light with you? So pretty much is look what you have now. Don't try to look what you're gonna have tomorrow. What you had, because that doesn't worth it. And you stop living. You stop being present. How many times you go to a conference? How many times you go to a lecture? And all of a sudden, of course, lectures are hypnotized, and your brain start going somewhere. So we just lost the power of now, the power of being here, the power of being present. And this is very important, and we're also going to see why. So our lecture for tonight comes from the Gospel according to Emmanuel, the Gospel of John. Unfortunately, I researched, but I didn't find this in English. If you do have a spouse that speaks Portuguese, I don't know who does, just give her or him the funny job of translating every line. Thank you. I know you love me. So, this comes from John 12:35, and that's what Jesus said. You were going to have the light just a little while longer. So after that, he started his tribulations, all the things that took him to be crucified, and we know the story. Walk while you have the light, before darkness overtakes you. Whoever walks in the dark does not know where they are going. So, metaphorically speaking, what is to work in the light and what is to work in the dark? If you have light, you can see what is in front of you, where you're going. If you have darkness, you just first you're not going to walk in the same speed, and second, you're really not sure. So doubt start building up on your brain, and start getting scared, and all of a sudden everything comes, the scenario changes drastically because you don't have the clarity of the light. And the light comes from the present time, not from the past and not from the future. So Jesus was saying before this, the hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. He didn't say crucified. He said glorified. Very truly I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. Again, metaphors. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. So he was talking about himself, and he was talking about what he knew that would happen. If I give my life as an example, I can produce a lot more seeds right now than I was trying to do while I was with the human beings. Because one shadow, one little bit of darkness, instead of, a light go and overpower the darkness, the way that human beings used to think by that time, and sometimes still think at this time, a little bit of darkness can overpower a lot of light. Just think about it. How many times you celebrate one small accomplishment of yours, and how many times you feel hurt by something that didn't go right. We tend to value a lot of the pain, but we don't give the same amount of importance and time to the things that go right. And in the end, the balance is totally uneven. So what I was saying is like, why you are with me? Take advantage of that. Give me your thoughts. Give me your questions. Let me try to explain something better, because I'm not going to be here for much longer. And that's probably the sense of now. Now you can correct some things that you're not going to be able to correct tomorrow, because that can be too late. Anyone who loves their life will lose it, and why anyone who hates their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me. Who serves him? Jesus as a person? Who serves his teachings? Who serves the importance of understanding where you are and what you're doing to do better? So there's a lot of messages, there's a lot of meanings on this speech. Today is the fundamental theme in the proposition of time. To start experiences that improve or readjust us. To seek readings that enlighten us on the route. To write a message to the friendly heart that awaits our word of comfort, or to make a decision. Think about it. Is there anybody that is waiting for, or anybody that you can, of course not now, but in the future now, you can just send an email, just send a text message, just send a word, and that make he or she feel better? And if it is, why don't you? I have a little secret to tell. When you do that, you also feel better. So if you're not willing to feel better, don't do it. But, I don't see why. That's the thing. To promote an encounter that values our hopes. To extend our hands to our opponents. To pray for the reapproachment. To pray for them if the reapproachment is not possible. So sometimes we cannot make peace, per se, with our opponents. But what you can do is open your heart. That's everything that you can do. If he or she doesn't want it, then it's not your problem. You're willing. If they do, they step up as well, then you both can correct. If you need to apologize, do apologize. Be okay with yourself. Do whatever you can to help. And then you're going to be in peace, which is really rare for us. We always have some turbulence in our brains. Everything changes over time. And normally we say that we're running against time, right? Maybe that comes from the White Rabbit from Alice. And Alice just jumped inside her own world and deal with the time that was changed and deal with everything with a different perspective, different reality. But in reality, we all have our wonderland. And sometimes it's not that wonder. Sometimes it's really ugly, sometimes it's really painful, sometimes it's good. But that takes us from the real time to our me time or our whatever land time it is. So you have to think about it. Are you just like the White Rabbit? I'm late, I'm always late? Or if you're late, your head going to be chopped by the Queen of Hearts? Who's the Queen of Hearts? Who's the rabbit? Are you the rabbit? Are you the Queen of Hearts? Are you Alice? None of these. Why do you jump so much in your fairy tales? Because we don't sometimes like too much our reality. Sometimes we don't like too much our present time. Because then you have to face who you are, what you're doing, who you're talking to, what you need to do now, not tomorrow. And that's sometimes really hard. So you build an imaginary world just to escape, just to buy some time. There's no buying some time. There's no running against time. Time is steady. And time is also a creation of human beings, because we convention that that's 24 hours a day. It could be 32, it could be 12, it could be 6 months a year, and we convention that is 12. So this is always convention. It's the way for you to process that in your brain. You have to rationalize something that is ethereal. Time is not something that you can touch, that you can hand. So when you talk about time, you need to know that in instants, the world moves and microbes proliferate. So a second, a millisecond, it's something that we cannot even perceive, but a lot of things are happening. As a matter of fact, our brain is so fast that 1.3 milliseconds before you know what you're going to say, your brain just made a decision. And it's so fast that your system could not rationalize it and put it out. So, is that fast? I believe it is. Can we work with this speed? No, we cannot. So what can we do? Stay in the now. Stay in the present. Pay attention to the time that is called today. Count your blessings, as no one prevents you from making time for consolidation and tranquility. So if you're going to make time, if you're going to find some time to do something, find some time to put you in peace. Find some time to calm you down. Understand, we have 85,000 thoughts a day. It's a lot. And if you don't stop it, it's just like a flow. It's a waterfall. Sometimes you need to stop it, because sometimes the flow is not going to the right way. It's not going to the positive way. And one thought leads to the other, and all of a sudden you have the fairy tale story comes to a horror story. And it's all inside your brain. But your brain can do damage to your body. So, make time for consolidation, and for tranquility. That's pivotal. This is really important. Take advantage of today to do something better. What is better? I don't know. Everybody has a different meaning of what is good and what is best. But what is best for you? Take time to do that. One thing that we try to do all the time is to take the world in once. That doesn't work. Our brain is a system that can work with one information at a time. No, Peter, you're wrong. I can do a lot of things. Yes, you can do a lot of things superficially. If you're going to do one thing that is important, you have to stop everything else. So here's the power of the unique thing that you can do. Choose just one thing at a time. Just one thing. Solve this problem. Then choose the second one. And because we like rewards, and because we don't like to be disappointed, don't go with business gurus that say, start with the hardest things to do. No, start with the easy one. Because if you do the easy one and you put it in place, then you have the reward and, the go for it to do the second one until you get to the hardest one. If you start with the hardest one and you cannot accomplish, you got to be discouraged, and all of a sudden you see a lot of other things that you need to do, and you are in a burnout syndrome. You're not going to do anything. That's how we work. That's how our brain works. That's how we were wired. Living in the present. Our mind views the time as a linear and continuous process. That's how our brain works. Any second before now is past. So what I just said, it's already past. And any second ahead is the future. So it's funny because the way that we try to rationalize time does not work inside our brain. You will not take this information and do the computation, do all the math that needs to be done the way that we think it is. In our current society, the inability to live the present has started to have serious consequences for our lives. Do you agree? Anxiety, fear, stress, regret cross the threshold of a healthiness and begin to seriously harm us. All of this can lead to cancers, tumors, so far and so on. Autoimmune diseases. So we have the power to heal ourselves. As Jesus said, we are the salt of the world, meaning that we have the power to give taste, to give color. But if we overdo this, then the dish is not eatable anymore. As a metaphor, as a reality, stress is good. Without stress, we're not going to move from point A to point B. That's what they call eustress. But when it comes to distress, you put so much cortisol, which is the substance that produces the stress, that start damaging your system. And all of a sudden, if you produce that too much, you're going to end up with an overdose. What happens when you have an overdose? You go to the hospital. But we can produce an overdose inside our bodies. And then, instead of going to the hospital, this substance will choose the weakest organ that you have, and it's going to start creating a disease. And that's why, like when you talk about quantum physics, they say that your body renews once a year, most of the cells. But if the thought that produced the disease on the cell is still there, it doesn't matter. It can be renewed. It's going to get sick again. That's our power. Because we are not thinking about now. Because what caused the harm, what caused that thought that creates a lot of cortisol, a lot of problems in our brain, it's from the past, it's not from now. But we're still attached to the past. Why? It's something to think about it. It's let it go. Let it go. And keep moving and keep doing the best that you can. Take time to harmonize and take time to do your best. That's what we need to use our time for. Believe in the light while you have the light, so that you may become children of the light. So let's put in the way that we've been conducting this lecture. Believe in the now while you have the now. Oh, how can I lose the now? Easy. Just think about what you're going to do after you go away from here. You're going to eat a pizza. You're going to go back home. You're going to watch the Olympics. Done. You're not here anymore. So believe in the now while you have now. Otherwise, you're not going to become the children of now, the children of the light. And if you don't stay in the present time, then you're going to start creating a lot of problems, a lot of troubles to yourself. To yourself. Maybe you can create to others as well because we have this capability. But normally, the worst that we can do is to ourselves. Because we don't stay put. We don't understand and we don't enjoy the time that we are here, watching or listening. Now, if our brains start deriving, we're gone. Walk while you have the light. Human life, despite being transitory, is the flame that puts us in contact with the service that we need for a fair ascension. So, is a flame a source of light? I believe it is, right? So we are the light, correct? We are children of the light and we do have the light inside of us. And if the time is now, and if I need to understand, what can I do now? First, what do I need to understand? What am I doing here? Why did I came to this planet, to planet Earth, and what is my purpose? That way I can do something with that. And if you study a little bit of Spiritism, what Spiritism tells you is that reincarnation it's a chance to perfect yourself from what you didn't do in past lives. But now, what you did in past life is not important anymore. And it's the way that they show that is because you forget everything about past lives. You are given a chance now to do something better now, to something that you did in the past and you don't know. That's hard. No, it's not. You know why? Check what you don't like on yourself. It's probably what you need to correct. Oh, I like everything about myself. Ask your enemy. Ask somebody that don't like you, because they're not gonna code the pill. They're gonna give it straight to your face, and that's what you need to perfect. People born with a lot of diseases, born with a lot of conditions. Mine is this one, is syndactyly. And why? It's not for me to look back. It's for me to look forward. The first thing that I think is that because then that way I cannot give the middle finger. So that's a good thing. Right off the bat. I cannot do bad things, maybe in my brain, but not physically. So that will avoid a lot of trouble, especially when I was young and people were making fun of me because of my hands. So that's one thing. So it's the way that you look at things and the way that you look at yourself and see, why? Why me? Well, ask again, why not me? If it comes to me, that's mine. That's my lesson. That is what I need to learn. That's the test that I need to pass, to keep on going, to perfect myself. In this blessed opportunity, it is possible to rescue, correct, learn, win, conquer, gather, reconcile, and to be enriched in the Lord. Everything can be done. But if you think about rescue, correct, learn, win, conquer, gather, reconcile, and be enriched, it's a lot, isn't it? So again, choose one. Nobody told you that you're going to be perfect after you discarnate from here, from this present incarnation. But choose one aspect. Work with it. Get better with it. And you fulfill your purpose. You fulfill what you came here. We came here to get better, to progress, not to stay put. Oh, are you guys familiarized with Icarus' tale? Icarus was the son of Daedalus, and they were in prison by a king that didn't like Daedalus' work. He asked him to do something. He said no. So, because he was a craftsman, he built 2 pairs of wings, and he glued with wax. And he told Icarus, don't fly too high, because the sun is going to melt the wax and you're going to die. And that's mostly what we know. And that's mostly what we were broadcast. But he also said, don't fly too low, because the water is going to drench the feathers and you're going to die as well. Why they don't say don't fly too low? Because normally we had the tendency to fly in the mid-air, which is our comfort zone. And if you fly too low, you get to the safety zone. But all of a sudden, we forgot what a safety zone is, and we mix up our comfort zone with our safety zone. The problem is, after COVID, our safety zone changed. But we're still looking at the comfort zone as comfort zone / safety zone. So are we close to drown? Because we don't look up? Because if I go too high, my wings are going to burn? What is the safe altitude? There is one great speaker in US that said that your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. So what is your attitude towards life, towards what you can do? What is your attitude? What can you do now to perfect yourself and to get better? And of course, if that works, would be awesome. Use the gift of time received in uplifting work. What is an uplifting work? It depends on each and every one of us. But define for you what is an uplifting work. What uplifts you? The best thing that you can do is to help others. For real. And we think that helping others is like when my center, my spiritual center, do the caravan of love, or they're going to do something for the poor. No, every single day you have a chance to do something for others. It's just a matter of looking. It's just a matter of searching for it. If you are focusing it and trying to do that, you're going to find a lot of opportunities. And that will uplift you as well. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of other ways that you can uplift yourself. Facing tomorrow. Everything, this is from Divine Justice from Emmanuel. And he was talking to us about tomorrow. And to say, everything, my brother, from earth is understandable. Meaning everything that we do, the wrongdoings, it's understandable. You're here to learn. You're here to, to perfect yourself. Everything is natural, preoccupation of existence. However, we can't explain your mad attachment to surface illusions. So that blow their minds. Why are you still looking of, these illusions of something that happens on earth? You're not going to take this with you. We don't even understand, why don't you dedicate a few minutes each day, each week, each month to reflect on the transience of human resources? Why don't you stop a little when you are mad because you didn't get the Ferrari, you didn't get the job, you didn't get the clothes, you think about, are you going to take this to the grave? Maybe yes, but the worms are going to eat it. You're not going to take to heaven. You're not going to take to the spiritual world. So why do you put so much effort, meaning, emotion? Why do you let your brain to trick you to this kind of thing, and you don't even think about your immortal soul? It's really, Emmanuel doesn't go light. It's just like Giovanni Di Angelo, he doesn't go light. Recognize that you will take nothing materially from the physical plane, as much as apart from the goods of the spirit, you brought nothing by landing on it. You didn't bring anything with you when you were born. As a matter of fact, you were born without clothing. So you were just like, what you have is your body, and that's it. So your body needs to do great things to yourself and to others. We only wish to emphasize that no matter what is your conviction, no one will flee from the future. And the future is, we're going to go back to a real world, to a real nation, which is the spiritual nation. This is just a blink of an eye if you think about centuries, or if you think about the time, the cosmic time, the heavenly time. This is just a blink of an eye. We're just here on vacation. Sometimes the vacation doesn't go that well, right? Maybe you choose Expedia. I'm not sorry, just kidding. But sometimes you think you get the best hotel and you just end up in planet Earth. And surprise, surprise, not what I thought. The time is now, and the time is now for us to live. Walk while you have the light. It is necessary to take advantage of the light of the world, to turn the light in us. So, our focus is something funny. Whatever you focus in, you delete the other things, because we don't have the capability of absorbing all this information. So, if you choose to focus on a negative thing, your day is going to be so negative. But if you focus to choose the right thing, the positive thing, your day is set to be awesome. And it's your choice. So once you wake up, just ask yourself, what am I going to focus in today? And like, oh my God, one more day at work? Or, wow, today I can do this at work. Or today, after work, I can do this. But still looking at good things. Still looking at some opportunities to raise your game. Now, in the present day. When we are in the spiritual life, we are accountable for our inventory of acquisitions in the material world. So whatever we do here, when we go to the spiritual world, we are responsible. And probably going to do an inventory of good things and bad things that we did here. Because that's the reason of incarnation, to progress. Illnesses, bitterness, difficulties, and pains are means that we use for the just repair of our lives, in us and outside of us. So when you see somebody that has some kind of defect, and what is defect? What is a problem? What is an issue? It's something that is not normal or is not equal to the others. It's so boring to be equal. It's so boring to be equal. We are children of God and we are different from each other. So if you guys know Nick Vujicic, and if you don't know him, just browse it on the internet. he was just born with a limb, and he called a chicken wing. And this guy talked to, so far, 10 million people. And when he was young, he thought in dying. He asked his mother to be alone in the bathtub, and he wrote twice or three times trying to kill himself. And then he didn't do it because he thought of the love of the parents. And he is a powerhouse. He can do a lot more than any one of us without legs and without arms. We don't need this. We need to believe in us. We need to believe in the light that was put inside of us and find a way to light that beacon, to keep shining brighter. Who live in the present? Ask yourself, how long are you actually living in the present? How many minutes, hours, seconds do you live in the present? During the day, how long do you realize you are living in the now time? Sometimes when you do something in your work, yes, you cannot let your brain go crazy because you need attention to do something. But after that, once the problem is done or solved or in between one patient and the other, is your brain going like crazy about the vacation that you're about to take? Because probably that's the time that you have to do something better to yourself or to others. And if you're thinking about something that is not in front of you, the chances are that you're not going to see anything that is in front of you. What steps do you take to consciously live in the present? In your day-to-day, how much do you realize that you are doing an activity while thinking about the next one or some experience you had? Think about it. We go to a mall, and here in the US, it doesn't happen too much, but most likely down in South America and Brazil, where I come from, you have to pay for the time that you stay in the parking lot. So normally you are getting there and say, oh my, yes, I'm going to pay for 5 hours or 2 hours or 1 hour. And maybe in 1 hour I can do everything, like five stores, plus eating, plus going to the restroom, plus. So you are just overwhelming your brain right off the bat. But you're not there. You're not inside your car. You're not parking your car. You're just getting crazy. And then you go to the shop. And then you go to the movie. And when you get to the movie, you're going to start thinking about what I'm going to eat after I'm done here. And then when you get out of the movie and go to the restaurant, then you say, oh, did I pay enough time for my car? So you're never there. We start the week, think about the weekend. We get to the weekend, thinking about the week. And we're never here. We're never in the zone. We're never in the present time. How can we do something if we're not here? If you're not thinking about the present day? First, we're not enjoying. We're not enjoying. How much time, how much money, how much work, how much sweat you put in your vacation. And then you get to your vacation, something upsets you, and you cannot let it go. So you are in front of a beautiful beach, picture perfect, sunset, and you're still thinking about the concierge that pissed you off. Great. Great way to throw your money in the garbage and your time as well. Why? Because we don't think. We just react. The best way to live more in the present is to bring the present moment into awareness. How do you do this? We were looking at a book that has a lot of messages and called Minutes of Wisdom. Don't think that is in English as well, but the message came 2 weeks ago in a fraternal counseling. I said, wow, now I know how I can progress from this light on. Learn to breathe. We don't know how to breathe. And the breath is everything. puts you right here and right now. We have in every last Thursday of the month here, our meditation series. And what Christianity tells is breathe. Pay attention to your breath. Minutes of Wisdom, that's the book. And what they say, breathing is our main biological function. And through it, it provides the organism with life and health. Brought us to cosmic energy. Everything that lives breathes. Plants, animals, and human creatures. Each time we breathe in, we introduce cosmic energy in the body, which is the divine fluid. We are immersed in the divine fluid. And every time we breathe, we bring this fluid inside ourselves. And every time we breathe, we also change our perception. If I do this, because you have to move your neck, I just took you from your hypnosis of listening and sitting there. Just because I move. Imagine when you breathe. You bring conscience to your body. You bring functionality to your body. The blood flows better. Everything goes good when you breathe. Learn to breathe consciously and you will avoid numerous illnesses. And this is my final advice or tip per se.
A college professor began her class by holding up a bottle of water. She asked the students, "How much do you think this bottle weighs?" 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, the students answered. And then she said, "Imagine I hold this bottle like this for a few minutes. What do you think would happen?" One of the students shouted, "Nothing." So she said, "What if I was to hold this bottle for a few hours?" The student said that her arm would then start to hurt. So she asked again, "And what if I was to hold this bottle for 24 hours?" They said you would be in extreme pain, your arm could fall off or be totally aching. The professor then said, "Notice the weight of the bottle didn't change during that time at all. The only thing that changed was the length of time I was holding it." She said this bottle represents our challenges, our problems, our worries, our stress and anxiety, and it shows that the longer we hold on to them, the more damage and harm they can cause us. Your peace is more important than driving yourself crazy trying to understand why something happened the way it did. Let it go. As Eckhart Tolle said, sometimes letting things go is an act of far greater power than defending or hanging on. We don't let it go because we think we can control it. If a person shows you their true colors, don't waste your energy trying to repaint them. If a situation isn't serving you or growing you, don't try to control it. Let it go. Stop wasting energy on people who make you feel like you are hard to love. One of the best moments in life is finding the courage to let go of what you cannot change. It's not holding on that's the issue. It's what we're holding on to. We can either hold on to things that weigh us down or lift us up. Sometimes the weight we want to lose isn't on our body. The most expensive real estate in the world isn't Dubai, it's not Singapore, it's not New York or San Francisco. It's your mind. Don't let anything or anyone stay there for free. You have to understand that people come and go. Stop holding on to those who let go of you a long time ago. Sometimes the person who hurt you, they won't have the answers. You have to find them yourself. They won't have the reasons. You have to learn them yourself. They won't give you closure. You have to do that yourself. And remember, if we don't heal the pain of our past, we will bleed all over our future. Just set it down and walk away.
How many of us been carrying some weight for too long? So here's my question. What time is it? Time to let it go. And when? Now. It's a conscious decision. It's something that you can do right here and right now, if you wish. Oh, but she did that, it's so wrong. Whatever. It's not her, it's you. See the damage that is causing to you, not to her. Probably her or him don't even know that this is happening. But you do. And you keep carrying the burden, keep carrying the weight, and it's too heavy. What time is it now, guys? Time to let it go. Thank you.